Well, hello everyone, this is Gary Jones, the lead investigator into the Pentrych Incident, and today we have a very special occasion. It is the 19th of July, 2022. It is just coming up to 11:15, and I'm here to introduce this lovely gentleman. His name is Mark Morris, and he is someone who witnessed something truly incredible on the night itself when it came to the Pentrych Incident. And he's come forward, he's agreed to talk to us. And Mark, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bud.
And just so we get this on record, you're okay going public with all the things you're going to share with us today?
Yes, definitely.
Okay then. So, Mark, just tell us about yourself and what you saw that night.
Well, my name's Mark Morris, 48.
No, it's fine.
Keep going.
Where you were living at the time?
Well, I was living in Lantford at the time when during the hours of the morning, I heard a big bang and rushed out to the back door, look down the valley, and I could see these lights like shooting up, and then going out like this, and then coming back into flow, and stop, and they'd go together like that, and then they'd come back out, and they were like green and red, and I just, I thought at the time it was somebody messing about with torches and this and that, but then I realised then, I thought, oh, hang on, wait a minute, this is not right, like, what am I seeing here, like, and I was shocked for a minute, and I was amazed at what I seen. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Did anybody else see it with you?
My stepson and my partner.
Did anybody else see it with you?
My stepson and my partner at the time.
Thank you. Did you call anyone that night?
Police.
Call the police. I have to ask, because this is quite a serious question. Can we have your permission to contact South Wales Police to get a transcript of your telephone call that you made in the early hours of the 26th of February?
Yes, by all means.
Thank you very much.
Because there are data protection laws, we need to make sure you're okay with it. Okay.
So are you sure that what you saw that night was not a helicopter or a conventional aircraft of any kind?
I never forget to the day I die when I see that like that.
Thank you, Mark, so much for coming forward. And what would you say to people that have said that you've just made this up, or that I've coerced you and told you what to say?
Well, this is the thing, see, when I seen it, I started telling people what I seen, and they wouldn't believe me, and in the end, I give up. It's only the fact that I seen come across your YouTube channel years later, that, it took me back to that moment when I seen what I seen.
Confirm for the viewers that this is actually the first time that we've ever met?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Mark, just to get into the investigative questions a bit. So you said you saw these strange lights. Can you just first of all maybe give us a description of how they were behaving that night?
Well, all I can explain is it's hard to explain in words and by writing, but I'm trying to tell you what I did. There were like beams of light going up, green and red, like orbs, like a torch.
Yeah.
When at the end you see the end of the torch, like the end of it. They went up like this, out in our way, and then they'd stop, then they'd come back for them, and then they'd go out like that, and then back in, like that, and they'd go back down, then they'd go back up, and I just thought, oh, what's going on here?
And what colour were they?
Green and red.
I was just going to say, you say they're green and red, and as I understand it, this, you said, is just after the explosion you heard, yes?
Bang first.
Okay, now, just for people to understand, where was you say you moved now, haven't you, since then? But you were living in... And that looks down towards Cardiff, you said, yeah?
Cardiff.
Now these lights, do you know what kind of shape they were?
Yeah, they're round.
And did they stay the same colour, or did they change colours?
No, they were green and red.
Well, are there one green and another red, or did they change colour?
No. Two of them were red, two of them were green, but then they would go back to green.
Oh, so they were changing colours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so they would form together, change colour. So as they spread out, would they change again, or?
No, only change colour when you go back in, see? And then you went back out.
Wow.
So it was like red and green again.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of debunkers. Some of the more unusual and more commonplace things: flares, planes, helicopters. They what? You're not convinced that those were what they were, is it? Could you tell us why that is?
Oh, but I know what I seen, and it was nothing in this world, you know. I haven't seen nothing like that in my life. Like I said, nobody will believe me. And I know what I saw, you know what I mean? And yeah.
One of the questions I would like to ask is, did you witness any road closures?
Yes, I did.
And where were these road closures?
The lanes in the way of it. There's another place, but oh no, I can't remember like that.
Okay. And did you go down any of these roads, or?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a bugger, I am.
And was there
I sneaked through, moved the barrier,
Okay.
because I had to go to my mother's one day.
Barrier.
Yeah, the barriers on the road, but they blocked the road off. I know I shouldn't have done it, I know, but it was a quick route to my mother's house, right?
And was there a reason?
Yeah.
One of the questions I would like to ask is, did you witness any road closures?
Yes, I did.
And where were these road closures?
The lanes in the way of it.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
And where were these road closures?
The lanes in the way of it.
Okay.
There's another place, but oh no, I can't remember like that.
Okay. And did you go down any of these roads, or?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a bugger, I am.
And was there
I sneaked through, moved the barrier,
Okay.
because I had to go to my mother's one day.
Barrier.
Yeah, the barriers on the road, but they blocked the road off. I know I shouldn't have done it, I know, but it was a quick route to my mother's house, right?
And was there a reason?
And
for
I
these?
went through it, but there was nothing there. Nothing
So
matter with the road. So I just drove through.
We know from asking the National Forestry Commission that owns or operates the Smilog Woods area in particular, they gave no permission for roads to be closed, or as far as we understand, police never commissioned any or gave orders to close any roads, but we were told the whole reason for them doing that was some lorry had overturned and caught fire, but then every road in and around the area must have had a lorry on fire, but there's no record of it anywhere in the FOIs for the South Wales Fire Service. But you said that they were doing something else, didn't you? You said you saw something, they gave you another reason why all this was going on. Something to do with the vans, is it?
Oh yeah, filming.
Did you see any filming equipment?
No, just white vans. They want to know. And I asked, because I'm nosy, I am as well. You know, I went, excuse me, what's happening there, bro? And he went, we're just filming, mate. And
Cool.
It was about 20 vans, 20 white vans there.
And where was this exactly?
Smilog.
And how long after the event of the night in question?
I think it was about 2 or 3 days, I think.
2 or 3 days after. That's
Not
interesting.
100%, but you know,
No, it's
in
just-
2016, you know.
Other witnesses have said 3 days at least. What did you smell anything in the atmosphere? Was there something about the air?
Yeah, it was, yeah, it was smell. I couldn't make it out at the time, you know. I think it off as a factory smell, you know. That's what I.
Like a chemical smell.
Yeah.
We've had a sulfur description of some people. Could be evidence of something being burnt or let off.
You say to the people watching today, if somebody has said that you just made this up, or that I have coerced you in making this up or telling this story?
But I tell them, no, I know what I seen, and I never forget what I seen that night. And you know, and I've tried telling people, but nobody believes me. And I know what I seen, and if they don't believe me, that's up to them.
And where you were living, did anyone else in your house, was you on your own, or anyone else in your household see something?
My stepson at the time and my ex-partner.
There's another 2 people who saw these strange lights. And what were their reactions initially when they first?
Wow, what's going on? Like me, you know. Yeah.
I think everybody that sees these things actually knows that what they're looking at is not of this world or of any type of conventional aircraft.
Has anyone, yeah, I was going to say, has anyone ever tried to rationalise what you saw? Or? Okay. So, I ended up talking about the police. You did phone the police. Can you give us a description of what you said to them?
I from the police, I said I'm in a plane crash or something, or something that happened. And, they said we'll investigate it. And they said they'd bring me, because I can see something happening in the sky. I said, lights and all that. And he said, look, we'll investigate it and we'll get back to you. But nobody ever go back to me,
That seems to be the typical thing, isn't it? No one ever gets back to us about it. The other question I want to ask you, what did you... I mean, we know there was a military presence there. Did they react to the lights, or was there something going on there? Or?
Military?
Yeah, the military vehicles in the air. Did you notice them anywhere, or...?
I didn't see any...
No, they weren't... Okay, so there weren't any... Okay, so that rules anything out of the military.
Yeah.
I heard helicopters and that. You could see the lights and helicopter noise and all, and that's why I phoned the police, to find out if anything was happening,
Yeah.
You thought there may have been a crash, didn't you? That's
Crash or...
Okay, let me ask you a question, because people are trying to convince other people that this was a military exercise. Did you know of any operations taking place in the area at the time?
Nothing at all.
Can you explain then why it was that you were up at that time of the morning and not asleep like most people?
Well, I'm not very good sleep, but anyway, I always go to bed about 2 or 3 in the morning, like.
Okay. So that explains why you went outside, was because of the sound of the explosion.
I was going to say, could you describe the explosion? Was it like a little pop, or was it something like a loud humming boom or something?
Like thunder,
A big bang.
Yeah, big bang.
That's very descriptive actually, thunder, because that would be a boom.
So quite a bit of oomph to it then.
Yeah, and I will tell you, a couple of days after this was happened in the day. Coming from down the valley, I thought it was a thunderstorm. It was like, the one right then, it was cloudy, but it was like this boom, 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 like a travelling boom, boom, like, banging.
And this was the following day,
A
wasn't
couple of
it?
days after, and you could hear it coming towards you in the sky, like boom, boom, boom.
It's a bit strange.
Fast food, I couldn't explain that either, but
That's the first I've heard of that, actually. I mean...
I do remember the storm in May of 2017, and the following year.
it was like a rolling thunder, and it was travelling. I never even myself heard thunder travelling, and whether it is, I don't know, but...
I don't believe it was thunder, because I checked the weather reports, and if I'm correct, there was no thunder that night. Well, at least a couple of, in the weeks that followed it anyway. Did you ever go up to Smilog? You said you like to have a nose around. You saw the white vans? Let's talk about the white vans. What were they doing?
20 vans parked in the car park, and it was all guys, women walking up the track, to the top. And that's when I asked them, I said, what's going on here? And they said, we're just filming a film, that's all. And that's what he said, and that was it.
Did you have a chance to go up there yourself and take a look?
No, I only go up there now and then when they have a McDonald's, just
So
McDonald's in my car.
They didn't stop you from going? You just didn't...
With the kids and that.
Okay. That's interesting. 20 white vans. Unmarked vans?
Yeah, all white.
Should have the first right there. Because we know from some of the transcripts we got from Freedom of Information requests, they talked about footsteps running, and some said vehicles were really running up there, and we know from another witness, don't we, that at least 2 or 3 other witnesses, the roads that go around and through the areas of Smilog blocked off, barriers, or people would stop them at least for a couple of days, and no one's ever provided us any explanation. And now we're hearing about white vans, people filming a film. So if you know of anyone who filmed anything in Smilog Woods around that time, please let us know. Now we're on to, you have done a diagram for us to describe these lights. Now, if I can just show it to you, you can explain maybe, hold it up to the camera there, and just give us a little...
Yeah, well, these are lights I seen, like beams of lights going up, then it'd stop in 4, then it'd go out, come back in 4, and just back and forth like that. You know?
When you say beams, did they shine beams or they just moved like they had beams of light?
Shining beams, like that, like we were a torch, or like in the sky, you know, like 4 of them, and they up, stop, like orbs then, and then they go out like that, and then come back and then stop, you know, in the 4. 1, 2,
See,
3, 4.
I would have thought that they could have been laser lights, but the fact that they've changed colour.
Laser beam, well, I don't know any laser
Well,
lights.
no, that's what I thought somebody was a torch, but no, it was too big to be a torch.
Yeah.
My first reaction was somebody messed about with it, but no, it was so big, you know, in the sky. Like.
Just to clarify, you know, when they were like, they shone beams, you say like they had shone beams.
Yeah.
When they came, did they stop shining beams or start shining again, or was it constantly like a beam when they were moving?
Just the beam would go up and then the orb would be there, and then the 4 orbs would go together, and then it'd disperse, and it'd back and forth like that, and back like that. That was when I thought, whoa, hang on, what's going on here? Like.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting, just to me.
I haven't seen this.
I did see the bright green object fire 3 really bright strobes at the aircraft.
That's true. And you got shined by the green one, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
So, I mean, that's another consistency right there. You're saying it's just after the explosion and they're over the Smilog Woods area all around there, yeah? Maybe, just me now as an investigative side of it, maybe they were trying to signal one of their orbs had come down, because we don't believe there's no aircraft that had crashed there. I know for a fact that those trees that were damaged were not damaged by lightning or earthquakes or someone chopping them down. And now I'm hearing about all these white vans, and we know also that a Chinook helicopter was making at least 3 trips from St. Athens to the area of Smilog Woods, being followed by 2 Apaches. There were 3 up that night, but one of them had to make an emergency landing at Pentrych International Airport just after this explosion happened. The timing of all that fits. I just can't help but wonder, now that I'm getting more information, that either the orbs show signs of some sort of distress for the one that's gone, maybe the one that's gone down. Say maybe, right? Because I don't know what they're really up to. But it's just interesting that I'm hearing this for the first time, and yeah, I mean, did you try to film it?
Yeah, I did try to film it, but the camera too dark. You know. But that's another thing, you know. Days after and all, I noticed that everybody else in the street, a lot of helicopters was around, and aeroplanes, circling Lantredvarda and Lantresant area, you know, when happened, Cardiff.
Was this after?
Yeah.
No time would have been over by then, if they didn't have one, but...
Maybe they were searching for something or someone.
A couple of days after, you know.
Sounds almost like a clean-up, doesn't it?
It was a clean-up.
Not just Smilog, but Lantris and Common. And then we have, like, well, maybe a month later, or a few weeks, we got that crew in the Pentyrch fields. And all efforts to find out about operations involving council or some private company that may have had to file permission to do these things, they don't materialize. Now, the only way, I know this for a fact, right? The only way that people could have gone there, done that, locked it down, and did the things that they did, is if they were military and they were on some, well, call it national security reasons, you know what I mean?
They
Defense.
They were military. We have that now in black and white, right with the military in the fields of Pentyrch.
Yeah. So these people in the white vans, what were they wearing?
Normal clothes.
Normal civilian attire, as they say. They didn't have, like, special equipment with them, or?
No, I didn't see it. They were just... No.
No camera equipment.
No scanners or
No camera.
No, I just realised that.
Right.
It's getting a...
Mark, I just want to commend you for coming forward. I thank you so much, because we do have a lot of witnesses, but no one will go on record, whether it be for their jobs or their children or for whatever reason. So to have someone as brave as yourself to come forward and stand by my side means an awful lot to me, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, I commend you for doing this,
Well,
honestly.
It's a pleasure. That's, yeah,
Thank you, Mark.
that's okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, that's the main part of it over. Do you want to keep talking? Just, is there anything else you'd like to add? Do you think there's anything you may have missed, or something that we haven't asked you?
No, it's just I'm glad that you know somebody who believes me.
Yes, will you stay in touch, please?
Yeah, they will. Yeah, yeah.